Fucking, I don't know. But that was fucking hilarious. So
what does bullet mean?
Not qualified.
Yeah.
So that one, and then I went to be an instructor, and that was something everybody has to do, And I think it makes a better NCO to go back to the schoolhouse, because then you learn what doctrine is. And now that they're shrinking down the MOS, I think more guys need to go back to the schoolhouse, because we're looking more at the armor side of it. We're not doing the infantry side of it. So the Humvee thing is going to go away. It's going to be back. Everybody's going to be back on Bradleys. So now you got to do mounted Bradley shit. Mm-hmm. So then I did that, and then I fucking now before I PCS to Germany, I'm sitting there. My last class, I had these two dudes, Roberts and what was the other dude's name? He had to start with a C. But they were from the platoon I was going to. And I saw them acting in the field. And I was like, I'm so fucked. I said, are you guys typical of what you go back? Yes, our doctors is the platoon you're going to. We're the greatest. I'm like,
motherfuckers.
Dude, you suck. You're fucking horrible. I mean, not just making minor mistakes, or I would do it this way, you would do it that way. They suck. One dude, my fucking buddy Danley, these dudes are laying out in the fucking open, in the fucking prone. And Dan's like, what are you doing? Getting a fucking moon tan? Or we fucking gonna do something? Getting some kind of concealment, your scouts, we're gonna stand here and we're gonna... Fuck. And then failed most of the tests. I mean, they were just fucking garbage. And I was like... So I knew the platoon I was going to was not made up of sterling performers.
Yeah.
And then I was in that platoon and went over the BRT. Great. Dude, I'll tell you what. BRT, so I deployed with them guys to war. And at the time, if I'd have gone to my 136 guys, I'd have been fucking terrified. But going with the BRT kids...
You want to tell your story again?
Which one?
Of the blue on blue.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll tell that one. So... I'm sitting there. So that platoon it started out, it was Sulet was my senior scout. I had Desjardins, but I didn't deploy with Desjardins, he PCS. I had John Woods. I had Garcia was just I think he was a specialist promotable, but when he got there as a private. I had Best was my gunner. Borglund was... I had a really shitty fucking wingman, but that was hilarious because I had Garcia with him. I just had some good fucking dudes. My driver ended up being this dude, Ruiz Soto, Puerto Rican. And that guy was $1 million, man. He was crazy. He couldn't speak English very well, but good enough. Better than some other people, but it was funny. Big monster. Had Ireland. Robert Ireland in there. So we're escorting a sergeant major in downtown Baghdad. He's doing a card. We're doing we're with 136 infantry. They're doing a cordon and search. And we're in the heart of fucking Baghdad, man. One of the main fucking downtown towns. And so we go into this fucking room, or I remember we went down this alleyway, we went into this house, man, there were about 100 motherfuckers. I mean, we just opened up, and it was just people. We bring all the people out, like fucking clown car, People kept coming. So we're sitting there at the end of the alleyway, and I think we'd gone up these stairs to check something else out with this one. We were following a squad. It was me, Sergeant Major, and his driver. And all of a sudden, just all hell breaks loose out on the fucking street, man. Machine guns, fucking all kinds of fucking shit going on. Fuck, man, I'm like, holy fuck. So I'm thinking, hey, there's only one place for me that I need to be, because the sergeant major is safe right now. I need to be with my fucking platoon, my section, my soldiers. So I go out, and I fucking turn the corner, and the sergeant major's driver was with me, and that dude had an M16, a musket. And I had a freak man on my M4, and I look over, and the sergeant major's kind of up there. He's got a squad of fucking grunts with him.
Yeah.
And I looked at the fucking driver, I'm like, you stay with Sergeant Major. And then I slid out around this fucking corner. I remember, man, because fucking street. Now I looked out, and it looks like fucking Star Wars out there, man.
Yeah.
Fucking tracers. But they're going like this. And I'm like, that is all fucking red tracers, you know? I was like, okay, no problem. And I'd seen the end of this car going this way, so I kind of figured something was going on with the car. Turned a corner, slid out, got running down, could see my trucks over here. And they're fucking just... Garcia's 6'2" or some shit like that. So I could see him fucking...
Of course I can see that.
And I go running around and come in, and, you know, brass is all on the fucking street and shit, and brass is round. So it's like a fucking ball bearing, right? So I step on that and...
Slipping on a banana peel over here.
Yep, fucking fall on my ass, and fucking Joe's thinks I'm getting fucking shot. And they're like, oh no, pop back up like, God damn it, man, direction of fire. And this white Toyota Corolla, going down the street. Just heading down, man. Fucking nothing but goddamn fucking Star Wars tracers following. And so, you know, they're up there fucking high-fiving each other, fucking, the post-firefight fucking, adrenaline rush going on. I'm like, hey, goddamn it, reload. Reload, get sectors of fire, pay attention, we can be counterattacked at any time. Because, I'm still at war. No one else is, but... So then I look up at Best. Fucking Best is facing this. Like, God damn it, Best, what the fuck are you doing? What'd you shoot at? He says, Star Dogs. I've got 6 o'clock. I'm watching this alley. I'm like, fucking Best is fucking amazing. I'm like, good job, man. Looked at Medrano, the gunner over on Garcia's truck, and I'm like, what the fuck why didn't you use your 240 on that guy? Oh, it was too close, Star Dogs. So I really didn't think about it. I just grabbed my M4, and I was like, oh, okay. Garcia's like, I was putting rounds in him. I could see his fucking arms moving, and, with the bullets hitting him, and whoever was fucking with him, I don't know if he was either Cadu or whoever's fucking driver was. And, I mean, they were shooting that motherfucker from 10 feet. We're talking about, they were on the curb, on the street,
yeah.
And that guy was coming down the middle of the street.
Yeah.
So then they fucking gets down there and catches on fire, and then go back, grab the sergeant major, or walk around looking at shit. Fucking 2 dudes. Well, there's 4 wounded. I don't know what these guys were. They had an ambulance, but I saw 2 of the fucking worst wounds I ever fucking seen. Fucking right there, and I'm like, even I was like, so picture if you will, fucking ricochet off the fucking street, bam, right into a fucking goddamn, right into your fucking shin. Just picture that.
Nah, even hearing it again, that's
oh my god,
that tibia, man.
Just that guy, and that dude was standing there. His fucking buddies is like, and I'm like, ooh, you ain't gonna die from that. Like, god damn. And the other dude who got shot, kid named Armstrong, got shot. And the bullet went, luckily it was hanging to the fucking right, because it went through the left, or either way. But it came out, it hit him in it, and it like caught him in the ass. So he it didn't really get his groin area, I don't think, but it caught they said it caught his ass. I was like, whew. It's hard to explain.
Was the exit a pretty big?
Like a graze. Kind of, I don't know. I didn't.
You didn't want to look at his ass?
I was like, dude, you're lucky you didn't get your ball blown off.
Yeah.
Fucking A. And then, so I was like, fucking A, that's cool. And then, that platoon rotated through. So, once again, the cyclic world, even at war, doesn't stop.
Nope.
So when I got back on the plane to leave Baghdad, finally, or to leave Iraq, and we finally left, who was it? One of my dudes said that, Sardox, do you realize you're the only person, you're the only leader that stepped off the plane with us, and you're in the same seat that you got in from the beginning to the end. I was the platoon sergeant in the same truck from beginning to end. My crew. I know I changed out gunners because Beastie was my gunner. Best was my gunner. Woods was gone. Sula had become platoon sergeant over in the other platoon when they relieved that platoon sergeant. Got rid of him. Relieved. I'd gone through 3 platoon leaders.
Jesus.
I had a new senior scout.
What were they doing?
Huh? We just rotated out.
You were there long enough for 3 platoon leaders to do their course and leave?
So I went in. I had Arlen in the beginning. And then he got replaced by Willig. Well, I guess I had Willig all the way out. And then I got a new platoon leader when I got back to Germany. Like, they switched out. Like, as we were leaving.
Yeah.
I'd had 3 commanders. So I started out with Turner. And then the other commander's only in command for 10 days. And he got this weird lung infection, the Baghdad crud.
Yeah, you told me about that one before.
And then Pollard took over. So Pollard took us all the way back. I had Crabe as the first sergeant. And then he left and Reyes Ray came in.
Oh, yeah.
I had Mac as a platoon, as an XO, he'd been my platoon leader. He's the one who wrote me up for mutiny. And then, good riddance to him. And then and then we had bald guy, man, fucking buff dude, good dude, Vaughn something. Can't remember his name, but he was a good dude. And then,
so you're just the only NCO that didn't switch out somewhere in the middle of deployment.
Yeah. That's it.
Why? Why did everybody else switch out and you didn't? Because you didn't fuck anything up?
I didn't fuck anything up. That's always good. I kind of wanted to stay where I was. There's no reason for me to move. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's no...
What was the reason for first sergeants and commanders to just dip out?
PCS, man. Time and service.
But they didn't finish their whole deployment?
They did.
They
were still...
mid-deployment?
Yeah.
Jesus.
When the war first started, we first went into Iraq, man, they still kept the PCS cycle going on. Well, like Craig already had orders to the Sergeant Major's Academy. So he left to go to the Sergeant Major's Academy. Woods had orders to PCS, and he PCS'd. And then that other dude, man, what was his name? He started out, so him and Garcia was his driver. And he was a sergeant, and I can't remember who the fuck was gunning. It wasn't Best gunning for him. I forget who was gunning for him. But, fucking, it was hilarious. Because this dude, once again, the world being a very small place. So, when the war kicked up, when the Twin Towers hit in Germany, we had to hunker down, if you remember. We had to hunker down and guard everything.
If I remember,
I was 3. When you were 3.
I don't even remember being in Germany the first time.
No. So...
And the second time, really. I was
16. So this guy's wife was... I don't want to say cheating on him, but rumor was she was cheating on him. And there was all this stuff going on. I remember I was in the fucking truck one day doing some fucking maintenance. And his wife there was a problem. I can't remember what the problem was, but she wanted to kick him out of the house, some shit going on. And I was like, okay, fine. Fuck this. I said, you just brought this goddamn problem to me. And I am the guy who's going to use a sledgehammer to take care of a fucking fly. So this is what's going to fucking happen. We're going to ERO, early return of dependence. You're out. Your fucking old lady is gone.
Easy peasy.
So I get the paperwork, I look at it, he's got it all filled out, I look at it. Hold on, buddy. Hold the fuck on.
That's not your wife.
I'm like, no. Where are you sending your wife to? Is this the address you want to send her to? He's like, yeah. I says, I got to check. But I'm pretty sure that's the same trailer park my sister lives in. So that wife ended up going back to your Aunt Jennifer's trailer park in Illinois on Sheridan Road. And living behind her buddy Sean King or Stacy King or whatever her name was. Anyway, living next, they became friends.
Your sister and this?
No.
Okay.
Jennifer's friend and this lady ended up being friends. And so I was like, okay, fine. But this guy, he was pretty not good. and he was going to PCS anyway, or he was going to ETS anyway. So they're letting people ETS.
Yeah.
So I was like, good riddance. And I had Garcia over in his truck, and I was going to give Garcia the tank, or the truck. And sure enough, man, we're in Baghdad. We're not even in Baghdad. We're in goddamn Kuwait. And every time, you know what I learned, man, you always put your wingman, if you're a platoon sergeant, put your wingman in front of you so you got time to make decisions. You got to trust him to navigate. You know, you're navigating too, but you got to trust him to navigate just so you got time to deal with anything else that's going on. And you just don't have the time to reaction to be a point man.
You don't need to be in every place at the same time.
Right. You don't need to be the first guy anymore.
You trained your guys well enough. They should take care of
their
job.
I didn't train this motherfucker at all. It was funny. Garcia said, he's telling me, man, he says, it's hilarious. He says, because that guy will either make a wrong turn or something like that, and then you'll hear over the net, white 6. White 6, white 4. White 6, white 4. And he says, that guy'd stare at that fucking hand mic, and he'd pick it up, and he'd be like, God damn it, he'd beat against the thing. White 6, white 4. Hey, what are you doing? Why? Do you know we missed our turn right? You know, where are you going? Do you have an alternate route? And you'd be like, turning around now, you know, and he'd be like, I just destroyed that kid. It's fucking war, man. You can fuck around in training and turn into a training event.
Yeah.
But you're in fucking war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got time for that shit.
You make a wrong turn in war, you literally could cost lives.
Yes.
So that fucking kid, jeez.
Yeah. So anyway, Chuck is Charles something I call him Chuckhead, but so he was gonna get out, and I'm like, hey, look, you're going back to my hometown. Maybe I can make some phone calls, or some of my sister can help you get a job. Maybe you know whatever you know. Trying to be nice. So he PCS or he ETS or he goes back to Germany to get out.
Yeah, because you're in the country right now, right?
Yeah, we're in theater. We've been in theater for about maybe 3 or 4 months. And all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, man. He's like, hey, did you hear? He re-enlisted. I'm like, what? He's going to be a recruiter. I'm like,
fucking shit.
Are you fucking kidding me? So when I went home on mid-tour, I went home to Illinois.
Yeah.
Didn't have any place else to go.
Yeah.
So I went to your grandma and grandpa and you guys. And then...
wait. What year is this?
2004. January 2004.
So this is when you and Mom were deployed at the same time? And me and Lou were with Grandma and Grandpa?
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yes, your mom's still deployed with me. Well...
She was in Baghdad? At the same time you were?
She was down south in a place called Dogwood. And then eventually she came up and she was in Taji and I was in Baghdad. So
you come home on R&R to Grandma and Grandpa's?
Right. And I'm talking, one of the last nights, I'm talking to Jennifer and her friend Shauna. Shauna? Anyway, her friend had come over. And she's talking and she goes, hey, Rob, you're in the Army. I'm like, well, yeah.
I just so happened to.
Hey, matter of fact, she goes, hey, do you know this guy? His wife was talking. Dude, that wife was like, hey, she used to keep my husband in the field. And I said, wait a minute, woo! Hey. Let me tell you some stories about your little friend there, Pally girl. The one who's fucking around. You know her husband ain't the fucking squared away most looking dude in the world. He was very nerdy looking. He wasn't a stud.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So I was like, you fuck around him all the time, man. I'd fucking send her back early. She goes, I kind of thought so. She was pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Mm-hmm. It kind of hurts your heart. I don't know about you, but when you're seeing all these wives cheat on their husbands when you're deployed or something like that, it just kind of, damn.
I don't know, man. Because I was pretty cold-hearted when I was fucking private for your mom. I figured that was a fair game. It was just easy pickings.
Yeah, it's private, but I'm sure you're fucking.
But then,
your third time in Iraq or something, you're like.
But you know what?
Man.
All I look at it is number one, they're just not good people. But then number two, I'm like, you are causing me fucking problems.
Yeah.
Now I got a fucking soldier who's not fucking. Now his brain is over here somewhere.
Fuck the people part. Now I have to do this. Now this is my problem.
I have a problem. And I like solving my own problems.
Yeah.
Fuck if I could, man. So, it gets kind of crazy like that, you know. So then I ended up going. So I did the BRT. Great platoon. First platoon, I deployed with, and then got promoted. I went to ACRC we had to go back to Knox. Got promoted en route, or made the list en route, and then get promoted. And then so I was on a run one day at Knox, and I saw Swanson come by, and I'm like, "Hey, Swanee, how you doing, man?" And he just made first sergeant. And he was like, "Hey, Ox, did you hear their DD-8s at Bragg? They're starting these cavalry squadrons up and everything." So I got back from my run, called up Branch, and I was like, "Hey, man, how many first sergeants do you need?" He goes, "Well, I need 13. I said, "No, you need 12, buddy." I said, "'Cause you got me." He goes, "Well, I don't know." He hemmed and hawed a little bit, and then I got there. And then, so I ended up taking over Alpha Company, 173 Cav, and that was... The guy who was my first sergeant, first tour, Brian Craig, he'd gone through Sergeant Major Academy, got reassigned. He ended up being my sergeant major.
Did he know you?
Yeah, I mean, fuck, man, he hated me.
There you go.
Well, I used to frustrate Brian. Brian says, "God damn it, he's fucking good, but god damn, I'm gonna choke the fuck out of that little bastard." Me and him would get in the fight. Now Brian Craig is like 6'1", 6'2". So the weird thing about, so when I was in the BRT, Turner was 6'2", 6'3". My platoon leader at Mac was 6'1", 6'2". Crabe 6'1", 6'2". Pinion 6'1".
Pinion.
So, I'm standing there trying to have a fucking discussion with these dudes, and I'm like,
breaking your neck.
Fucking, so I was always in my hat, and fucking Crabe coming out of drill sergeant status, and he'd been in the 82nd.
Yeah.
A little bit, not long, but at least he was senior rated. And he's like, "Ox, why you were supposed to have your hat down, 2 fingers." And I'm like, "Look, god damn it,
you motherfuckers!"
I said, "Look here." I said, "Let me explain something to you. You don't understand."
You fucking 6 foot.
I said, "You're 6 foot tall. Your whole life is down like this anyway." I said, "I'm trying to talk to you guys. I got to open up my fucking horizons, or I'd just be like, yeah, whatever." I'd be looking at your fucking belly buttons, going, fucking bullshit, man. So
now, for the record, how tall are you?
5'4". Same size as Kevin Hart. So all them Kevin Hart jokes, I was like,
that's right at you too.
That's me too. So them guys. So I got Kevin, or I got not Kevin. Well, when I showed up, there was a dude named Owens who was like because the unit was just starting to build, because they were making these units on the fly.
Yeah. For
the reorganization and stuff. So 173 Cav was still in the build section, and they had this dude. He was a cook, sergeant major. He's a fucking cook, named. I forget his name. But then we got this other dude named Owens. He was 19 kilo. And that dude, scared of being airborne, didn't want to deploy. He ended up getting a DUI or something. Something happened. He didn't deploy with us. But Craig came in, man, having Craig, me and him knew each other. And it was like, at least like peas and carrots. It wasn't peas and peas, but it was peas and carrots. And like one day, me and that Owens guy, who was the operations sergeant major, and we used to call him Radio, like the Cuba Gooding Jr. fucking, where he's the retarded guy playing football, whatever. But anyway, so we called him Radio, meaning at first I called him Radio, because he didn't have a clue what was going on. He was always fucked up. Like, "Hey man, did you get a call from fucking Radio?" "Yeah, we got this task." He goes, "We don't fucking need to do that shit." He's like, "Fucking, hey Radio."
Yeah.
So
that's not us.
One day he come out, man, he's fucking hot. "I want to goddamn talk to you." And the squadron headquarters was across these T-hammer type things. So he come out this way, and I come down my stairs like this. I'm like, he's like, "God damn it, Sergeant, First Sergeant." I'm like, "Well, Sergeant, I'm trying to be still respectful to him."
Yeah, sure.
"Well, Sergeant Major, and he's like, he's pretty pissed off. I'm like, "Well, maybe you want to rethink this." But I noticed Craig came out behind him, and he was inspecting dumpsters. So, fucking, he was like, so I saw him try to argue with the operations sergeant major like a good first sergeant does. And I'm kind of, out of corner of my eye, I can see Crave. He's over there like, looking at dumpsters, putting stuff back into it, looking around. And I'm like, what the fuck's a command sergeant major? Fucking, so I'm like, looking at it. So then, fucking, radio fucking, and leaves. Fucking Crave comes walking over and says, God damn it, Ox. He says, you know I stick around here in case you guys want to fight or something, right? He says, I was ready to take over in case he says, but you can't let pretty well. I'm like, well, thank you, Sergeant Major. And we fucking go. And then, fuck, man. So the way they usually do make a big deal out of a change of responsibility for first sergeants.
Of course.
So the guy who I took over for was a guy named Joe Goebel. And he ended up being the HHT first sergeant. But, infantry guy. Good dude. Fucking Goebel and I are sitting there kind of talking about how the fuck are we going to do it. Now, the guy that was the company commander, I had accidentally, as I went through my mind, I had met that dude in Baghdad, fucking on a patrol, thinking, this guy's fucked up. He's going to get his fucking dudes killed. And the more I learned about that guy, and then I knew people who knew him in West Point, he was fucked up.
Jesus. And he was what? A squadron commander?
No, he was a company commander.
Oh, he was your company?
Yeah, kind of for the transition part. Okay. And then I got another guy, and I liked him, but he was fucked up too. Anyway. Did you have any? Well,
I know you did, but it sounds like you got a lot of fucked up officers.
I did. Arlen was the best platoon leader I had. A guy named Andrew Arlen. Yeah. He was the best I had, but he was good. He was fair to good.
How many? Let me tell you like this. How many officers have you met that were better than the enlisted? Or at least how many enlisted were better than officers?
You can't say that because it's two different jobs. I mean, it's like comparing apples to Buicks.
Yeah, but if you're counting knowledge of the job, like I know they have different jobs to know, but at the same time,
I just can't. I can't make that comparison.
Fair enough.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
It is tough
because there's different things I judge people. I mean, I judge an officer differently than I judge a enlisted guy.
Taking care of the Joes?
I can't. I don't.
No.
Damn. Because I don't think it's a responsibility of an officer to take care of the soldiers. I think it's their responsibility to give the NCOs the latitude, and it's a responsibility of them not to be fucking dicks and slave drivers.
Which is crazy that they are.
They can be, but at the same time, but it's a different thing. You just can't compare them.
Yeah,
you can't compare them.
No, you're right.
So because guys they want to take care of them by giving them times up and within their capability. So like Jerry Turner was, when I was in the BRT and he was a troop commander, he wanted to get these guys days off and we kept looking for comp times, but after a while it was weird because we would have more time off than we did work. I remember the month of April, I think it was 2002, 2001. We had more days off in that month than we had days we worked. But what you don't understand is that you can give me like back-to-back 4-day weekends.
Yeah.
So you only work 3 days, but you're expecting me to get 5 days work done.
Yeah.
In them 3 days. So you're not really helping.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, Arlen was a good platoon leader. He had a little bit on the immature side, but I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that he'd been a specialist already. He was enlisted, so he kind of had that specialist mentality sometimes. But overall, good. Everybody else, C- to D.
Jeez.
And then
even like into your sergeant major days.
Oh no! I'm just saying when I was a platoon sergeant.
Oh, okay. Hey.
And then as a first sergeant, the guy I had, the guy I was talking about, what was his name? Because he ended up coming to 4th Brigade as a major, and they were like, "Holy fuck, we got to kick this guy out of the fucking army." Jesus Christ!
Officer?
Yes. And then when I took over 573, the PA asked me about him. Do you know this guy? And I'm like, fuck yeah, he's a piece of shit. It was his roommate in West Point. And he's like, yeah, that guy was fucked up.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
So,
Why is West Point so highly praised if people that are that fucked up still make it through?
It's just like any other college. I mean, who wants to fail? I mean, they fail dudes left and right. Don't get me wrong. They boot dudes for weird reasons, but if you hit all the high marks, you're gonna pass. I mean, if you pass the points, like I always say, you can't kick somebody out of the Army for being a weirdo.
Yeah, sure, but if you're fucked up, how do you
But
pass?
nobody. So that's my other theory that I've always had in the Army is, hey, they'll squirt him away at his next rank.
Yeah.
So you get promoted to your next rank.
Unit.
Yeah, somebody else is going to squirt him. Well, he ain't going to make it here because my hands are tied.
Yeah,
but the next guy,
maybe in the actual unit.
That guy will never make it. That's like all these people tell college kids, oh, they'll never make it in the real world. But the real world's adjusting to them now.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard. So that's why if I can't fucking nip it in the bud, then I'm like, oh shit, this guy's, if you're fucked up, I'm going to try to stop you with mine. Buck stops here. And if I can't, I can't. But if it's possible, I will.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just talk shit about him. So the rest of the Army knows, hey, you got a shitbag coming down the fucking pike. So, I had them guys, being a first sergeant and Alpha Troop. Now, that's where I do the kind of Jedi mind trick on your grandparents. So, and you almost fucked it up. So,
what as a 5-year-old?
Yes. So what happened was, your mom showed up at Bragg, and I thought Craig was going to fucking help me out. Your mom shows up at a unit, and I'm like, don't worry, you're not going to deploy. Don't worry about it, you're not going to deploy. I got it covered. You're not going to deploy.
You're saying mom's not going to deploy?
Your mom's not going to deploy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you thought Craig might.
Because I thought Craig could fucking help me out.
Wiggle something.
Put her on rear D.
Yeah.
Shows up. Your mom goes to her unit. We're deploying.
So this was before I lived with Grandma and Grandpa?
No, it's after. You just got back.
Damn.
We had just got you guys back. And then we were at Knox for a year.
Yeah.
And then we went to Bragg.
Yeah.
And it was like,
all right,
don't worry about it. You're not going to deploy. And then your mom ended up deploying. And then I was supposed to deploy.
Did you have like a year break and then back to Iraq?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So what was crazy about it was, so I was in the unit. So my squadron. No, never mind. Wrong squadron. But originally I was supposed to go to 573 Cav. And that was originally had been 3rd Battalion 505th in 3rd Brigade. And that was my brother's old battalion in the 82nd.
Okay.
So it ended up being 2nd Brigade. I was in the Falcon Brigade. So I'm sitting there, and then, hey, we're supposed to go to Afghanistan in... See, I got there. So I think we were supposed to go to Afghanistan like February.
What is this, like 2006, 7?
2006. So 2007, I'm supposed to deploy to Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. So, like, okay, cool. Well, in October, end of September, October, the world fucking changed. We started the surge. And you got to go to, okay, you're going back to Iraq. I said, okay, when are we deploying? Because we went through this JRTC. Oh, and then we had to go through JRTC. Oh, you're deploying end of November of 2006. So I'm like, fuck, okay. So your Uncle Jim had just got killed in 2005. November 2005. In Afghanistan. And I kind of got Grandma and Grandpa socialized and emotionally set that I was leaving in February or whatever that long term was out. And now I'm fucking going.
Back to Afghanistan.
Now I'm going back to fucking Iraq.
Yeah.
In November. So it's like, fuck. And then to make matters worse, we're coming down for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, fuck. I said, what, when am I deploying? Day after Thanksgiving, man.
Fuck.
The Monday after that weekend
Jesus.
is your deployment date. And I'm like, okay, so me and your grandma Wink had already come down. So your grandma Wink was living with us.
This is Fort Bragg, right?
At Fort Bragg.
Yep. Okay.
And so I'm like, okay.
RV was in the driveway?
Huh?
RV was in the driveway?
RV was in, she was living in her RV.
I lived there.
And that's what's going to happen. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I kind of, we talked through some things. And then she's like, hey, did you tell your parents you're going to deploy earlier? I was like, no. I said, nobody's going to tell my parents that. I said, they think I'm leaving in January or February, whatever it was. I said, they're just going to live with that. I said, I'm not.
They will be a few months short.
I'm not going to.
Completely.
So they're like, hey, we're coming around Thanksgiving. I'm like, oh, fuck. So they came down for Thanksgiving, but they decided to drive up to Arlington, and they took you and your brother up to Arlington because I had work to do because we're getting ready to deploy. So, a couple times I tried to pull Dad aside and say, look, man, I'm going to be leaving. We go to church, and then you guys go up to Arlington with him, and you said something to them, and they kind of looked, and then Lee whooped your ass. Lee was like, Ryan, shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about.
He used to whoop my ass for any reason.
He did, and he found the opportunity. So then they leave, and your grandma Wink was like, you got to tell your parents. And I'm like, no. Ain't fucking telling them. They think I'm going this way. I'm not gonna turn this into an emotional event.
Yeah.
Ain't fucking happening. So they ended up going home, and I think they flew. So they get home, and Dad calls me, and he's like, yep, we're home, everything's working good, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, there's something I got to tell you.
Hey, by the way,
hey, I just want to let you know. He says, I said, look.
What, Sunday?
It's like Sunday.
Yeah.
He says, so, hey, Dad, I said, things have changed a little bit. I'm not going to Afghanistan in January. Oh, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to Iraq. And he's like, okay, cool. When are you going to Iraq? I said, tomorrow. And your grandpa said, I can't talk to you right now. And he hung the phone up.
He was about to have his first stroke right there.
Yeah, he probably had his first stroke right there. And then, to make matters worse, to make it even worse, freaking 15 minutes later, your Aunt Jennifer calls me up.
No, of course.
And she is crying.
Oh, of course.
Why are you going out? Oh my God. And she's just losing her shit on the phone. I'm like, that's why I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So then I got to Kuwait, and I was like, sent him an email. I'm like, hey, look, man. And then your grandpa was like, that was probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And your grandma was like, she goes, I would have spent more time with you and whatever. And I remember one of those days, we're just sitting in the living room because we lived over on Hallmark. No, the other street. Dunmore. And
damn, right here, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, and your mom or your grandma fell asleep. And I was like,
spend more time with me, huh?
Well, I was just kind of like, this is nice.
Yeah.
No stress, And I can remember my mom like that. And we built that table.
Mm-hmm.
And you just gotta figure, if you're gonna fucking eat it, you might as well have it like that. Yeah. I mean, it's better than Jim had. So, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so Grandpa was like, your mother's never talking to you again. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. So, and then I go through that whole fucking, that Iraq, that one. That was rough.
Yeah. Heard a lot about it.
Yeah. So I left them guys. So the crazy thing about it was, right after I came out of that in 2008, I was still with the company, or with the troop, in 173 Alpha Troop. And I made the sergeant major's list.
Nice.
So I'm like, oh, great, you know. And back then it was different. So you would be a CSM, or I'm sorry, you'd be a sergeant major, or you would be a CSMD. So you'd be designated. So they made a distinction. Guys who are going to be sergeants major, you know, operations sergeant major guys, and guys who would be command sergeant majors. So you were a CSMD designated.
They made that decision for you?
They made that decision.
That's crazy.
And I was like,
okay. For gunnies, you start putting it in, like as soon as you pick up gunny, in your fit rep every time you submit one, you have to make a designation yourself.
Do I want to be
first sergeant or master sergeant?
Okay.
And then master.
Well, it's kind of now. It's kind of it's so crazy right now because I saw it changed again. So I was like, okay, fine. So I'm a CSMD. So I'm sitting there. I'm saying, fuck it, man. I'm in the catbird seat because once again things change. And my second platoon sergeant Duchesne ended up being the operations sergeant major for the squadron, working operations. So I could kind of tell him what we wanted to do and what we didn't want to do, and he'd always kind of have an eye out for infantry. And then Jimmy Westover takes over. Me and Westover were privates together in that first platoon I was talking about. You know, so fucking hey, man, and we'd known each other forever. We kept running into each other and stuff. And so then I was like, buddy, I'm fucking going. I got it going on, man. I was letting the troops go at 1,400. You know, they said never look for alpha troop after 1,500. And then you know, we were just fucking hanging out, and I was running. I'm kind of running shit, you know. And then had a great commander, Foster. And then all of a sudden one day, man, we're at gunnery down at Camp Lejeune shooting with the Marines.
Hey.
Yep. And Westover's like, Ox, hey, what do you know about being frocked? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? I got this goddamn gunnery to run. You know that? Now, we're both master gunners, but I'm a better master gunner. So, I'm sitting there, and I mean, he's got sergeant major shit, dude. And he's like, hey, man, you got to report up to fucking 4th Brigade. You're going to be the brigade operations sergeant major. I'm like, I know absolutely fucking nothing about running a goddamn... I said, I'll be your operations sergeant major all fucking day, buddy.
Easy.
And we had this dude, I can't remember his name. He was fucking garbage. He was So anyway, so I go to 4th Brigade, and I eventually go up there. I was like, hey, let me get everybody out of the field first. So I got everybody out of the field. And I'm up there talking to fucking... I show up at Flowers' office, man. Sergeant Major Richard Flowers. Cool dude. Absolutely fucking cool dude. And I'm like, you know, Sergeant Major, you know, I'm kind of nervous about all this other stuff. And he's like, I said, so when I report, do I report as a sergeant major, a master sergeant, or a first sergeant? You know, what am I at? And he says, fuck you, I don't know. So he calls up division, he says, talks to HRC, or the G1, talks to that sergeant major, and he's like, hey man, fuck it. He says, he's just the operations sergeant major, tell him to pin that shit on. So I'm like, all right. He says, hey, I'm going to give you, because I had to leave because your cousin Danielle was getting married.
Yeah.
So I already had leave put in.
Was it like around my birthday then?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, fine, man, fuck it. So he says, hey, show up after your leave, dude, no problem. Flowers didn't worry about nothing. He was squared away. I knew him as a battalion sergeant major over in White Falcons. I think it was White Falcons sergeant major. So, dude, I went home. I went over to General Jackson's on Yadkin.
Dude, General
Jackson's. Went over to General Jackson's, bought all my sergeant major shit. And the little girl at the fucking booth was like, hey, when are you getting promoted? I said, when did I get in that fucking truck? And she goes, can I promote you? I said, do I get a kiss for that? And I was like, hey, I got a better fucking idea than that. Took all my shit, walked into the fucking, my truck, and I pulled the mirror down and said, Secretary of the Army promotes great trust and I said, hang on a minute, your mom had just retired. I'm like, took the shit off, went back home. So I walked in that foyer on Hallmark, and your mom was working online or something.
Yeah.
She was home
in college, yeah.
doing whatever. And I'm like, hey, baby, come here. I said, we're going to promote me. And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, watch this. So I called JD. I was like, hey, JD, what do you got going on? He said, no, man, I'm trying to teach a class. I'm like, hey, I need you to say the words. And he says, oh, because he had that shit memorized.
Yeah.
I said, JD, say the words, man. He says, are you? I said, I'm getting promoted. I said, you're going to do the promotion. He goes, okay. So I put it on speakerphone. And if I could, JD was like, attention. He put all his students, because he was teaching ROTC, put them all in position of attention. Secretary of the Army, reposes great trust and responsibility, and Robert Oxner is appointed to the rank of Sergeant Major. So put in, gave your mom a kiss. I said, hey, old lady gave me the kiss, man. Thanks a lot. He's like, okay, man, we're good. Hung up. I was a Sergeant Major. Blam. Welcome to the world of the fucking E9s. And that was it, man. So I ended up going to Afghanistan with those guys, and that's when I had to shave my head.
As if there's that much to shave.
Bad haircut. Back then it was just a bad haircut. And then came back. As I came back, they said, okay, you're going to take over. Originally I was going to take over 373 Cav, which was great because I was legacy. Because I'm a 373 Arbor guy. Oh my God. And then they had an argument while I was standing there between King O. Parks, the 1st Brigade Sergeant Major, I forget who it was, and fucking Division Sergeant Major, man. Fucking Debo. What was his fucking name? Started with Dale. Can't remember it. I got him in my fucking picture of him in my head. But, so, when I showed up, when I came back early from 4th Brigade to bring the brigade back in. I was an early deployer. Now I'm moving everybody back in. Plus I got to plan all their changes of command.
Advon.
I was Advon, now I'm Advon back. And I was going to lay low, man. I'm going to fucking take it easy. And the Rear D Sergeant Major, Rear D Commander, dude, guy named Scott Suter, who I knew him as a student. I've known him a while. He's a Cav dude, good dude. He goes to the meeting, and he comes back, and he's like, and this other guy named McDowell had come back with me, E9, Sergeant Major, and he says, hey, Lambert. He says, Lambert knows there's 2 E9s back here from 4th Brigade. He wants to see one of them at his fucking meetings. I was like, fuck. Because I knew McDowell, man. He was...
Yep.
He was done. So I was like, all right. So I go to this fucking meetings and stuff like that. So I'm up at this meeting, and when I got there the very first fucking day, it's like, Lambert's like, hey, you a CSMD? I'm like, I'm a CSMD Sergeant Major. You're saying I'm supposed to be going over to 373 Cav, 1st Brigade, legacy guy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, man, don't worry, okay. And then that day, and about 3 weeks later, like a Lambert, just like Green, that first sergeant, Orshner. He couldn't say my name for nothing. Orshner.
Been there.
Are you a CSMD? Now Lambert is about 6'8", can bench press like 700 pounds.
Jesus.
He's fucking, and he's very, very into bodybuilding and very into weightlifting. I mean, he's like,
is he black?
Yeah, black dude, bald head.
Why do you say yeah? Like it's like, of course he is.
Because it's Lambert. And he's like, Orton, are you a CSMD? I'm like, nothing's changed in 3 weeks, Sergeant Major. Why are you going to 373 Cav? Because that's what you said I was going to, and we kind of were, God damn it, I need you over and in 573 Cav. They ain't been, I'm like, fuck. And the thing about it was, guess what I was doing at that point when he called me over? Figuring out police call areas. So I was kind of tightening up freaking 373 Armor's
shit.
Police call area and giving it to
573.
573. Well, 1st Brigade, 2nd Brigade. I was like, fuck me, man. So I ended up going over there, and 573, great unit. I mean, the legacy over there. So that was, I linked up with them dudes when I came back to brag, and that was Ray Edgar, guy who's the Force Com commander right now, Pappas.
Right now.
right now. Well, he might have moved up, but I'm pretty sure he's still the Force Com commander. 3-star general, 4-star general, 4-star general. And Clemens and Rob Cobb and all them dudes, and they had a very rough deployment, but at the same time very valorous deployment. They did a lot of fucking heroic shit. And they did, and the thing about it is they were in theater about 6 months before us, maybe something like that, and maybe more, maybe 10 months before us. But one of my soldiers, Bill Fleming, went from the BRT airborne and was in 573 Cav and was in the truck. Then one of the guys in my first sergeant, Willie Lilly, who was a platoon sergeant at the time, was ground guiding, and this IED went off between them and fucked everybody up.
You told me about this. I think you were just telling me about this at dinner or something, but
yeah,
not an episode.
Right.
IED blew up between them and it fucked the guy's leg up.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
Fucking Willie had a bunch of shrapnel and stuff in it. I don't remember the whole story. There's a lot that went on with those guys, and they got in a firefight with the Iranians, kicked their ass.
Good.
Open source. I found it on the internet one day.
A video of the firefight?
Not the video, but a report of it. So it's open source. I'm not telling secrets.
Yeah.
Just a whole lot went on. Took a lot of casualties. It was, like I said, man, for a while there it was them and us. When we got in the theater, it was kind of like, hey, 573 did this, 173 did this. 573 did this, 173. We was kind of, and both of us were just laying fucking hate on them fucking Hajis, man. We were fucking in boys up. And we go back and forth. Just fucking in boys up. It was great. It was a good deployment. It was my best fighting deployment. Playing with 4th ID, or with 4th Brigade, 82nd. You're a sergeant major, man. Fucking Flowers told me though, he says, take that PSD you got down there, which was for Grasso, he's taking the boys out and get them shot at. I'm like,
what?
Sergeant Major, fucking trying.
Yeah.
I didn't go out every day or anything, but I took a couple. But I'd go down to this place called Farah, and it was funny because that was where 473 Cav was at with Clemens and them boys, and Tucker, and I'd fly down there every now and then. I flew down there once just to take a fucking break, man. There's pictures of me. I'm out there shooting on the range, and they had we didn't even tow it yet. The day we tow it, 473 gets in this fucking huge goddamn fucking firefight. I mean, just a battle. It was you can call it a battle. And so we're up there doing a damn fucking computer thing. I can't remember the name of it. And goddamn brigade is in Kandahar. I'm in fucking Camp Stone. And I'm trying to what? Shut the fuck up. Tell them guys to shut up. And then I'm on the phone to Major Barton, the brigade ex. I'm like, hey sir, just stay the fuck out. We got this. If we need help, we will call you. Leave us the fuck alone. Because what happened was all the communications we were getting from Farah, which is like, I don't know, man, a couple 100 miles away down in the south, and typical Afghanistan war, so these cats are fighting down in Farah. We have no imagination of what the battle space looks like. No idea what their area looks like, and they're running back and forth between like 2 different camps to get stuff. We're talking through MARSOC to get stuff done because MARSOC really controls the place in this fucking town. I can't remember the name of the town. And we knew there was going to be a problem anyway. And all this fucking major battle shit is going on. And eventually, what the fuck happened? I'm getting these reports from my MARSOC window, and finally my SF dude is like, oh, by the way, I have the brigade or the battalion XO, this guy named Scalia, who I knew from when I was in Germany too. He was a captain. his dad is Anton Scalia, the Supreme Court Justice.
Oh, really?
But so he's like, hey man, what's for some reason the comms went down somewhere, and I got a call from the SF guys that were on the other side of us, and they're like, hey, just come over here, we'll set you up a battle position, we'll figure this stuff out. So I'm doing it through the SF channels now. This fucking battle, this fucking thing's going apeshit, man. Yeah. Mike Clemens is fucking running the battle. That motherfucker, that's where he's got his Bronze Star, and we ain't even really taken over yet.
Yeah.
And Jay Chapman, Major Jay Chapman was captain, company commander then. And fucking, we have a dust one. That's the thing about it. That's what triggered the dust one. I forget what it stands for, but bottom line, got captured. So what happened was they had these National Guard Muldoons with them, and the dude was in a wrecker, Hemet wrecker, and the wrecker got hit by a fucking RPG. And that dude jumped out of it and ran into this fucking building. Fucking Hodge was fucking putting rounds, RPG rounds, into the tires to set the tires on fire, which caused, they set those on fire, the whole thing burns up. And then whole column gets back because we were supporting like World Feed or some fucking UN bullshit. And we get in there and fucking Mike's like, all right, has everybody got everybody? We get in the Marsoc compound. Everybody got everybody, you know, blah, blah, and then these fucking National Guards are maybe not. He said, what do you fuck you mean maybe not? Count your fucking people. Well, maybe we're missing a guy. So they go back out, and fucking Mike's got, you know, and he ain't alone. He's got his guys. He's got fucking A&A with him. So he's like, A&A's just all fucking scattered. They fucking abandoned the fucking fight. Typical fucking A&A shit. So he's like, hey, get fucked back. He's organizing it. He's got his Humvee out there.
What's A&A, just for...
Afghan National Army.
Yeah.
So he gets out. They get to the White Mosque, I think it was. And the fucking helmet's burning. Mike says he pulled up to that thing. And this fucking kid came out of that like an outhouse or something. Fucking... was in the fucking seat, left his fucking weapon, nods, all this other bullshit, fucking right there. Fucking like, let's go! He's like, what the fuck? So they go back, but in doing this, the fucking EOD, there was this female E6 EOD, and she was talking all, we're going to kill Haji, and blah, 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 talking all kind of brave shit. No, Chapman was telling him about this. Her fucking gunner takes one right to the fucking nugget. Bloom! Blows his fucking brains all over the back deck.
Correct. She
did not stop screaming for fucking 5 minutes. Juden had already been fucking killed. Fucking SPG-9, I sent Mike down a bunch of information on it later on. Did a little report for him. It fucking hit, and it forms a fucking spike, you know, HE spike.
Yeah.
Went through him. They just eaten so fucking blue like fucking MRE stuff's fresh out of his fucking stomach under the fucking thing. Jeez. Went all the way through, and then that spike stopped in the fucking ammo rack or the magazines of the fucking driver. Cut you in half. Killed. Fall dead. And then fucking that's where Chapman was telling me, he says he's seen fucking dudes run up, these fucking Joes run up, and they look over, and there's fucking Hodge is firing over this fucking wall, and fucking dude looked up and like snatched that motherfucking AK-47 out of dude's fucking hands. Then another dude threw a grenade over the fucking wall. Fuck them guys, man.
Yeah.
It was just mayhem. It was war.
Yeah.
It was what you expect when you're like, oh, that's fucking war. That's cool.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it depends on what you think of war, but back in Civil War times and before, it's all just you meet on the battlefield and you clash.
This was more World War II fucking Stalingrad. And then we did that again up in Balamurgab.
Yeah.
And it was like, what are you doing? Fucking Stalingrad right now, buddy.
Yeah. This is fight how you want, but win.
It's the best way to win, man.
Yeah.
No rules. No holds barred. So, you know, that one was fucking crazy. So I ended up working that battle, you know, with Scalia and I'm not telling anybody. I'm just trying to move information around. And then you got brigade, and they want to know everything. I'm like, hey, motherfuckers, I cannot tell you what I don't know.
Yeah.
Why don't you quit asking fucking questions? And then they want to come down and tell the fucking squadron what to do. And I'm like, you put us out here to control the battlefield and battle space, and then you're not letting us, you're a layer of dumbasses.
Full circle back around. Remember when you were telling me about your wingman up front?
Yeah.
You want him to make decisions, but you're the one navigating, but you want him to navigate for you. It's gotten all the way back around. They trust you to do your job, but they're also like, they're not fucking doing their job.
See, the thing is,
except this.
The brigade's responsibility is to provide resources to the battalion. Okay? So, and I always said this, is that, their resources are, drones, fucking information, medevac, air, whatever. We got a Bone 1. We got a Bone 1 on station. We got Trident on station, which is SEALs, because for the dust one.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? I'm like, well, fuck, right now we don't have enough information to fucking execute something that massive. Let's get it fucking figured out on the ground first, instead of wasting a resource on something we don't know that we could fix. So, and that's the thing about it is, so everything in Afghanistan was so spread out over half the country.
Yeah.
And then you got different people trying to tell you different things. Oh my God, fucking Afghanistan. There's no way it could ever be successful because it's so fucking convoluted.
Yeah.
I had a chain of command diagram one day, and it was like fucking spaghetti.
Like your chain of command?
Not me personally, but I mean the chain of like CTF, JF, blah, 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 this guy talked to this guy, blah, blah, blah.
Really?
And then you got the Italians, who's in charge of the Italians, who's in charge of the Germans. We got Pomplets, we got these Pomlets, go talk to these guys. I was like, no wonder why this fucking place ain't working.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who the fuck's in charge.
Everybody wants to be in charge. They also...
But they've got plausible deniability. It was that guy's fault.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Then by the time I got back the second time, nothing improved. You're still fucking dumb. You didn't know who the fucking was in charge.
Yeah, I believe it.
And you're like, especially, being NATO and, it's crazy. So that's about it, man.
Yeah.
We good?
Yeah.
I think we're good.
We're running on 2 hours, so...
Good.
Yeah.
From the first one or the second one?
This is all 2 hours.
Oof.
Since we got the mic out.
You got to pull that thing off, because, man, right now my phone is like, you have no room for pictures.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably cut in half, upload a separate.
Yep.
Oh,